All right, back again for another deep dive. And today we're going to be tackling someone that I think is probably on a lot of people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
It's that emergency fund.
Yeah,
And specifically how to build a solid emergency fund. Maybe hit that like kind of magic $10,000 mark, and we're going to be doing that quickly.
quickly.
We've got a fantastic podcast episode from Money Moves to help us unpack this. So
Love it.
is it really doable? What are the standout tips that they offer? And most importantly, what clicks for you as we go through it?
Right.
Let's jump in.
Yeah.
Before we even get to the how-to, though, why is having this emergency fund so essential? I mean, beyond just feeling a bit safer, what's the real impact?
Well, it's about more than just feeling safer. I think, a robust emergency fund is the bedrock of financial stability. It's that buffer that keeps you from spiraling into debt when life throws, those curveballs,
Yeah.
unexpected medical bills, car repairs, you name it. Money Moves really hit home with the fact that most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
So that means one financial hiccup could send them scrambling.
Yeah.
A $10,000 cushion, helps you weather those storms without resorting to credit cards or, high-interest loans.
Okay, that makes total sense. It's like having that armor to protect yourself.
Exactly.
But let's be real.
$10,000 sounds like a mountain of money.
Yeah.
How do they even suggest approaching that? Well, Money Moves breaks it down in a way that's surprisingly manageable.
Okay.
Their approach focuses on creating a sense of urgency while remaining grounded in achievable steps.
Right.
For instance, they suggest aiming to save it in 6 months,
Okay.
which comes out to about $1,667 per month.
Still a hefty sum.
Right, still a hefty sum. But then they get even more granular, breaking it down to about $55 a day.
Wait, $55 a day?
Yeah?
Suddenly it doesn't feel so impossible.
Right.
I mean, that's less than my daily latte habit, for sure.
Exactly. They frame it in terms of daily choices, which makes it feel much more achievable. It's not about deprivation.
Right.
It's about conscious spending.
So where do they suggest we find those extra $55 each day?
One of their first targets is what they call money leaks.
Okay.
Those unnecessary expenses that we often overlook.
Gotcha.
Think about those streaming subscriptions you barely use, Tim memberships gathering dust, or even that magazine subscription you keep meaning to cancel.
Yeah.
They argue that cutting back on these small recurring expenses can free up a significant amount of cash each month.
Oh, they're talking my language. I'm a total sucker for those free trial offers.
Right.
And then suddenly I'm paying for 5 different streaming services.
Yes.
I actually did a cleanup recently and found I was wasting over $100 a month on subscriptions I barely used.
Wow.
It's amazing how those seemingly small amounts can add up.
It is remarkable. And Money Moves gave another great example, swapping takeout for home-cooked meals.
Okay.
They estimate you could save around $450 a month just by whipping up some meals in your own kitchen.
Okay, that one's a bit tricky for me. I'm not exactly a master chef.
Sure.
But I see their point. Maybe I could start with replacing just 1 or 2 takeout meals a week.
Yeah.
Baby steps, right? But even with cutting back, saving $10,000 in 6 months still requires some serious income boosting, doesn't it?
You're absolutely right. Cutting unnecessary expenses is a great starting point,
Yeah.
but increasing your earning potential can truly accelerate your progress.
Okay.
And that's where side hustles come in.
Oh, yeah. The side
Everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it these days. What kind of side hustles did Money Move highlight?
They discussed a wide range of options, from driving for ride-sharing services to delivering food or groceries,
Okay.
to utilizing skills-based platforms like TaskRabbit.
Yeah.
They emphasize that there's a side hustle out there for almost everyone, regardless of their skills or experience.
Right.
One of the podcast hosts even shared how she made $2,000 last year just by selling clothes and electronics she no longer needed on online marketplaces.
That's amazing. Turning clutter into cash, that's a win-win. It also makes me think about those hyperlocal opportunities that often get overlooked. Like in my neighborhood, there's always a need for pet sitters and people to help out at the farmer's market.
Right.
Sometimes the best side hustles are right in our own backyards.
Absolutely. Resourcefulness is definitely key when it comes to side hustles. It's not just about the big platforms. It's about spotting those niche opportunities.
And speaking of smart strategies, one thing Money Moves really hammered home was the power of automating your savings.
Yeah, that's a cornerstone of financial discipline. It takes the emotion and decision-making out of the equation, which is often half the battle.
I'm all for anything that takes the pressure off my decision-making when it comes to saving money.
Right.
But how does automating actually work in practice? What did Money Moves suggest?
They recommend setting up an automatic transfer to a separate savings account, ideally a high-yield one to maximize your gains.
Okay.
The key is to treat it like a non-negotiable bill. It's like paying yourself first. before any other expenses even have a chance.
That makes a ton of sense. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say.
Exactly.
I know if I see that money sitting in my checking account, I'm way more likely to rationalize spending it.
Exactly. And it leverages the power of habit. Removing the temptation to spend, it becomes a seamless part of your financial routine.
So we've got our side hustle income rolling in, our savings are on autopilot. But let's be honest, there are always going to be those tempting moments where you want to dip into that emergency fund. How do we stay strong and avoid sabotaging ourselves?
That's where Money Moves brought up some really interesting insights about the psychology of spending.
Okay.
They talked about those impulsive purchases we all make, those treat-yourself moments that can completely derail our progress.
Oh, tell me about it. I've definitely been there. That cute pair of shoes whispers my name, and suddenly I'm questioning my entire financial plan.
Right.
How did they suggest we resist those temptations?
They emphasize the importance of pausing before you make a purchase, especially a non-essential one. Take a breath and ask yourself, do I really need this, or can this wait? It's about shifting from impulsive spending to intentional spending, considering the long-term impact of our choices.
You know what's interesting is they didn't just talk about resisting impulse buys, they also highlighted the power of visualization.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about knowing you should save, but actually picturing yourself reaching that $10,000 goal, imagining the relief and freedom it would bring.
Harnessing that emotional connection to your goal can be incredibly powerful. When you can vividly imagine the positive outcomes, the reduced stress, the feeling of security, it fuels your motivation to stay the course.
I love that because, let's be real, saving money isn't always the most exciting thing.
No.
But picturing myself finally having that financial cushion, that's something I can get excited about.
Totally.
And, it's not just about the big picture money moves. Also stress the importance of celebrating the small wins along the way.
Absolutely. It's all about positive reinforcement, hit a saving milestone, resist a major impulse buy, acknowledge those victories. It reinforces those positive financial habits and keeps you motivated.
So true. It's like those mini rewards that keep you going. Okay, so we've talked about mindset, but what about the nitty-gritty of managing money? Did Money Moves dive into budgeting at all?
They certainly did. They emphasized the importance of tracking your income and expenses. That awareness is the first step towards making informed financial decisions.
Yeah.
Once you see where your money's actually going, you can start making adjustments.
That's something I've been putting off for ages. I hate looking at my bank statements,
I know.
but I can see how it would be eye-opening and empower you to take control.
Precisely. And Money Moves had some good advice for making budgeting less intimidating.
Okay.
They recommend exploring different budgeting methods to find one that aligns with your personality and habits.
Right.
Some people thrive on detailed spreadsheets, while others prefer simpler app-based systems.
That makes sense. It's about finding a system that works for you, not against you. So once we've got our budget in check, our savings automated, and our emergency fund growing, are we done?
Well, Money Moves actually took it a step further. They touched on the importance of investing for the long-term, building wealth that goes beyond just that immediate safety net.
Ooh, now we're talking. That's the ultimate goal, right? To grow our money and achieve those long-term dreams. Did they offer any tips for getting started with investing?
They emphasized starting early, even if it's with small amounts. The power of compound interest over time is incredible. They even shared some great resources for beginners, websites, and apps that demystify investing and make it accessible.
That's fantastic. I know investing can seem intimidating, especially if you're new to it.
Right?
Having those resources to guide you can be a game changer. It's interesting. Throughout this whole episode, Money Moves has woven in these psychological insights alongside the practical tips. It's not just about the numbers. It's about understanding our relationship with money.
You've hit the nail on the head, understanding that relationship is crucial for long-term financial well-being. Money Moves touched on how our emotions and past experiences can profoundly influence our financial behaviors.
So true. For example, if you grew up in a household where money was always tight, you might carry that sense of scarcity into adulthood, impacting your spending and saving habits. Or maybe you made some financial missteps in the past, leading to a fear of taking risks.
Exactly. And Money Moves really encourages listeners to reflect on their own money mindset.
Yeah.
Identify any limiting beliefs that might be holding them back. It's about cultivating a healthier, more empowering relationship with money.
And sometimes that might even involve seeking professional guidance from a financial therapist or counselor.
Sure.
It's okay to ask for help.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't hesitate to seek help for your physical health, so why not your financial health?
Absolutely. There's no shame in seeking support. It can be a powerful step toward achieving financial well-being.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the nuts and bolts of budgeting and automation to those deeper psychological aspects of money. Before we move on to part 3, I'm curious, what's resonating most with you so far? What's standing out as a valuable takeaway?
Yeah, it has. I think Money Moves really did provide like a really holistic approach to this.
They did, and one thing that really struck me as particularly important was their emphasis on community.
Oh, yeah. The we're not in this alone idea.
Exactly. They touched on finding like an accountability partner, someone to cheer you on and keep you motivated.
Hmm.
But I think it goes even deeper than that. It's
Yeah.
about tapping into a network of support and like shared knowledge.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with people who are also striving for financial wellness can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
It creates like a positive feedback loop where you can bounce ideas off each other, celebrate wins together,
totally.
learn from each other's experiences.
It's like having that built-in support system for those moments when you're feeling discouraged or tempted to stray from your goals.
Yeah,
Because, let's be real, this journey isn't always easy.
no,
There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when you just want to throw in the towel.
right.
Having a community to kind of lift you up and remind you why you started can make all the difference.
They provide perspective, encouragement, and a sense of shared purpose. It's a reminder that you're not alone in your struggles or aspirations.
So where do you find these amazing communities? Did Money Move have any suggestions?
They mentioned online forums, groups, and communities dedicated to personal finance.
Yeah.
Social media platforms can also be great for connecting with like-minded individuals. And don't underestimate the power of local meetups or workshops.
Good point. Your local community center library, or even financial institutions often host events or groups focused on financial literacy.
Right.
It's all about actively seeking those connections and surrounding yourself with positive influences.
Exactly. Building a supportive community can be just as important as building your emergency fund. They go hand in hand, really.
Well said. As we wrap up our deep dive into building that $10,000 emergency fund, I want to leave our listener with one final thought. Remember, this is just the beginning.
Hmm.
Hitting that $10,000 mark is a fantastic milestone, a crucial step toward financial security, but it's not the end goal.
It's a foundation upon which you can build a brighter financial future. Once you have that safety net in place, you can start exploring other financial goals, like investing for retirement, buying a home, or even starting your own business.
The possibilities are endless, and the skills and habits you develop while building your emergency fund, budgeting, saving, investing, surrounding yourself with a supportive community will serve you well on your journey to achieve those dreams.
It's an ongoing process of learning, growing, and adapting.
Absolutely. So to our listener, keep learning, keep growing, and keep connecting with others who share your passion for financial wellness.
Hmm.
And who knows, maybe you'll inspire someone else to start their own journey toward financial freedom.
That's the beauty of it. It's a ripple effect.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those financial goals in sight.